Hi friends, it's Evelyn from your favorite YouTube channel. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Jana Duggar is on her way to Nebraska. Well, I don't know if that's actually where she's on her way, but she will be moving to Lincoln, Nebraska soon, and she will be away from Jim Bob Duggar and the Duggar clan for the very first time in her 34 years of life. It's wild to think about the fact that this woman has lived her entire life on a piece of property, well, not her entire life, but a large portion of her life on the over 20-plus acres that the Duggars inhabit in Tontitown, Arkansas, right across the street from a landfill. There have been all kinds of articles about how stinky it is there. And the Duggars own a ton of property, both on one side of the street, which is over 20 acres, and then another 40 acres across the street. Jana is about to embark on a new life in Lincoln, Nebraska. Recently, Realtor.com got a hold of some information about the house. Yesterday, I said I wasn't going to be talking about the house, but here we go because Realtor has some details for you that's in a public article. So here's what they have to say. Basically, Tontitown, which is in northwestern Arkansas, is about 6.5 hours from Lincoln, directly north, about 430 miles away. So, this is definitely not going to be an area where she can easily travel back to Tontitown to see her parents. Her brother John has an airplane, so clearly he can go see her. And it's not a super long flight because it's only a 6.5-hour drive. But it's going to be quite a culture shock for Jana because she's going from the south to the deep Midwest. It's going to be a little bit colder there. She's going to be the Duggar that lives the furthest north. I know that's wild. Other Duggars who have moved out of state have been Justin, who lives in Texas, so he went further south, and Ginger, who moved to Laredo, Texas, and then moved to Los Angeles. So Jana will be the only Duggar in a more northern part of the United States. I wouldn't necessarily call Nebraska northern, but she's going to be in for a rude awakening in terms of winters because Nebraska gets quite a bit more snow than what she's likely used to in Arkansas. Arkansas gets ice and snow, but not the kind of snow that Lincoln will get. She's moving in with her new husband, Stephen. According to the article published on Realtor.com, Stephen actually bought a house that's about 2,152 square feet. He purchased the home for $275,000 in June 2023, before Jana and he were even engaged and really before they even reconnected in their relationship. According to Jana, she and Stephen reconnected earlier this year, and the relationship went on warp speed after they exchanged some handwritten letters and decided to get married. The house is a ranch-style home and is completely finished. The main living area has shiny flooring, 2 bright windows, and flows to the dining room and open kitchen. There are 3 bedrooms situated on the first level, and the 2 others are in the basement, along with a rec room and a second bath. What's also going to be different than what she has in Arkansas is that people in Nebraska generally have basements, and this home has a basement. So, for tornadoes, they don't have to have a storm shelter, quote-unquote, like they do in Arkansas. Now, some people in Arkansas have basements, but it's not as common. When you get further north, you start to see more and more basements because of frost lines and because there are no water lines that you're interfering with. In the basement, there are 2 bedrooms, a rec room, and a second bathroom. The yard is fully fenced, so there are kids that can roam safely. And there's a huge storage shed with a 2-car garage. It's definitely not on 20 acres. It's certainly not as big as the Duggars' house. But on the same breath, it's also bigger than the tiny little shed that Jim Bob had her inhabiting for the last couple of years, where she had been kicked out of the main house and was living in this tiny little trailer next to their volleyball and basketball court off of the patio door of the Duggars. So, the home she was in when she lived with the Duggars was about 7,000 square feet. This home again is 2,100 square feet. The home is not super new by any means, and it does look like if they want to fix things up, the kitchen cabinets look like they need some updating. The kitchen counter looks like it could use some updating. The floors are relatively nice. They appear to be either wood or laminate, and there is carpeting in the rooms. So, the house itself isn't like a massive palatial estate, but it's actually a lot nicer than some of the places that some of her siblings are living in. If you look comparatively at some of the other siblings, like John, her twin, still lives in a trailer situated on property owned by his parents, the Duggars. You have Jason, who lives in a treehouse. Jed lives in a 2,100 or 2,200 square foot home on the property again, owned by Jim Bob at the car lot. Jeremiah, I don't know where he lives. He might still live in an RV, but he also could be living in the old house that Jessa had transported from the property she owned with her husband, been the house that Josh and Anna first lived in. I don't know if that's where they're living, but they did move that home to across the street from the Duggars in Tontitown. Josiah recently built his own house. Joel lives in a log house that was once occupied by Mary Duggar. I think her brother Justin and Claire live in the basement at her parents' house, or maybe in a trailer outside of their house. So, this house is for sure an upgrade compared to how some of her siblings are living. Her sister Jill's house would be a little bit bigger than this. Ginger and Jeremy just threw down $1.9 million on a home that they purchased from the Master's Seminary, and they have like a $1.40 or $1.5 million loan. I was shocked at first. I thought they were going to be renting housing from the church and from the seminary, but they actually bought the home from the church. Wild, right? So, they have a massive mortgage and that home is huge. It's over 4,000 square feet. So, her home by no means is the biggest, but for the girls she's doing all right. Interestingly, her sister Joy just put her house up on the market. So Joy and Austin are going to be moving. I have no idea where they're moving to. The home that they had purchased was a gift flip that they got once they got married. I think it was a home that was previously owned by Mary Duggar, and then Austin and Joy completely remodeled it. It's not a super big house. It only has a couple of bedrooms, maybe 3 bedrooms, and they have 3 kids now. So I can see how they might be almost growing out of that home, but Jana's home is a decent size with 5 bedrooms. So if they plan to have kids, there's enough room for at least 4, on top of them having their own bedroom. Stephen works for his dad. He does sandblasting and irrigation, meaning he puts in sprinkler systems. I don't know what Jana plans to do and whether or not she plans to work with him. She never really established a career of her own when she was still living in Tontitown. She did mention that she was going to school for nursing, and had completed a couple of semesters before she decided to get married to Stephen. So, I don't know if she plans to continue her nursing degree, and if she'll transfer to a school in Lincoln. I think the only thing that makes me sad in all of this is that she was finally doing something for higher education, and now that she's married, that dream may not come to fruition. But we'll have to see. What will be interesting for her, though, is that she's moving to a place 6.5 hours away. She's going to be living in a house with just her and Stephen, right? She's been used to being surrounded by tons and tons of people her whole life. She's not going to have access to all of her siblings that she's always been around. It's going to be a lot quieter now. He does have a lot of family that lives in the same area, but he's not necessarily right next door to where his parents live. One other thing that I wanted to share is that James Duggar posted a sweet message to her, which said, "Watching my sister marry the man of her dreams has filled my heart with so much joy. She found an amazing godly man who truly compliments her in every way. I've prayed for this day for years and couldn't be more happy for you both. So excited to see what God has in store for y'all." James and Jana were very close, and I think it's cute that he was praying for her to find a man. It's wild to wonder how many of the siblings were praying for Jana to find a way out of the family. I mean, I'm just saying. So Jana likes to fix things up and remodel. She might be able to use her handy skills to get things fixed up. Again, the photographs that were shared by Realtor were from the listing of when it was purchased. It's hard to know what. Counting on alum Jana Duggar's marriage has surprised many fans. Known for her statements about being content with single life, her unexpected wedding to Stephen Wisman has been a topic of great interest. Her role as the caretaker for her younger siblings may now be passed on to someone else, opening the door for other changes within the Duggar family. Last month, Jana shared several YouTube vlogs updating her followers about her life. She showcased various projects such as fencing the family's farm, building an indoor playground for her siblings, and providing a tour of her small house beside her parents' home. Michelle Duggar, Johanna Duggar, Jim Bob Duggar from Counting on TLC, source from Duggar Family Official Facebook. During this busy period, many were stunned when Jana also built a swimming pool with the help of her siblings. There had been no public hints about her engagement. However, some observers were proven right when she shared a photo featuring a mysterious man, soon revealed to be her husband, Stephen Wisman. Reddit users have speculated on the impact of Jana's marriage on the rest of the Duggar family. Some believe that her departure might motivate others to marry sooner rather than remain single for years, as Jana did. A few speculations have pointed towards Johanna Duggar as the next likely candidate for courtship and marriage. "I thought she would have been married by now, but her potential suitor has since married someone else." I wish one of the Lost girls would move in with one of their siblings or go to college so that they can experience life and not just be shuttled into an IBLP marriage. Johanna will be 19 in October. An 18-month timeline puts her right around age 20. I could see her getting married at 20 or close to it. She's already older than Justin was. I feel sad for her if she does. None of my friends who made that choice just to escape ended up in the healthiest of marriages. You don't think any of them will have been inspired by Jana and want to wait it out. But that would also mean being stuck at home for the next 15 plus years, no? I feel like that thought would kill the incentive to pull a Jana. Johanna married first, then Jordan, then Jennifer, and then Josie. Currently, Jason Duggar's courtship with Maddie Grace is the only one publicly known. The two announced their relationship in May. Since then, they have been relatively quiet on social media. There is a general belief among fans that Jason and Maddie Grace may marry before any of Jana's younger sisters who currently live at home with Jim, Bob, and Michelle. News of Jana Duggar moving isn't such a surprise. Not after recent revelations. Just days ago, we reported that Jana Duggar's wedding date had leaked. It was a surprise, to be sure. Within hours, the world had confirmation of her marriage to Stephen Wisman. By that point, it was less of a surprise. Now Jana will be moving far from her parents, to a whole other state. 34-year-old Jana Duggar is the second eldest of Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar's sprawling brood. On Thursday, August 15th, she married Stephen Wisman. Though she is of a normal age to marry among her age group in the United States, within her family's cult, these were geriatric nuptials. Now Jana is taking another huge step. This will take her far from her parents, and far from the horde of younger siblings for whom she has acted as a third parent. Jana Duggar is moving to Nebraska. Speaking to people in an August 17th interview, the newly married Jana Duggar spoke about the upcoming move to Nebraska. "He has a little house we bought that we've been fixing up and getting pulled together," she shared, referring to new husband Stephen Wisman. And so, she expressed, "That's been fun." Stephen Wisman purchased the home in question in 2023. That the 5-bedroom home is in Lincoln, Nebraska. The home to which Jana Duggar is moving is only about 20 minutes away from Wisman's family, whom Jana knows well. The Wisman family lives in Milford, Nebraska. They also own a construction company, which is where Jana's new husband works. Stephen Wisman proposed to Jana in June. 2 months is not a lengthy engagement, though. In the Duggar world, a traditional engagement is as unorthodox as well dating. Jana and Stephen have known each other for over a decade. The Wisman family spent time with the Duggars during a snowstorm. A few years ago, widespread rumors said that Jana and Stephen were quietly dating. She even spent the holidays with his family, not her own. It appears that they broke up back then and then reunited earlier this year. Jana is not following the absurd ritual of the father-approved courtship and rapid marriage at a very young age like so many of her siblings had to. "I haven't always understood what the bigger picture is, but I know that God knows what is best for all of us," Jana opined to People. She concluded, "And so for me it's getting married later." Jana Duggar is finally taking a major step to move far away from her toxic parents. If nothing else, many longtime Duggar watchers are breathing a collective sigh of relief at that. Counting on fans think Jana Wisman née Duggar hinted that she is distancing herself from her famous family following her wedding to husband Stephen Wisman. Shortly after Jana, 34, married Stephen, 31 on August 15th, the former TLC star changed her name from Jana Duggar to Jana Wisman in her Instagram bio. Fans aren't surprised that she took her husband's last name. Some of her sisters still have their maiden names featured in their social media bios. For example, Jill Duggar is listed as Jill Duggar Dillard. However, Jinger Duggar, Jessa Duggar, and Joanna Duggar only have their married names in their bios. Shortly after Jana removed Duggar from her name on Instagram, several fans rushed to social media to comment on the change. "Honestly, Wisman is a killer last name. I'd be so fast to lose that fugly Duggar," one person wrote. Another added, "Dropping the Duggar like a bad habit." Meanwhile, others took to the comments section of Jana's Instagram posts from the wedding to note that she didn't include photos with some of her family members. "No pictures with Dad, that's interesting," someone wrote, referencing Duggar patriarch Jim Bob Duggar. An additional fan chimed in, "I wonder why Jennifer and Josie weren't bridesmaids. I am surprised her twin brother didn't make it into the bridal party." Another person commented about John David Duggar. While many of Jana's siblings had high-profile courtships leading to their marriages, The eldest Duggar daughter opted to keep her romance with Stephen private before their wedding ceremony. Jana also opened up about her decision to marry later in life than most of her siblings. "I'm just like, what is it me? Do I have a problem?" She told People while reflecting on why she decided to settle down at an older age. "I know I've prayed for this for years and years, and yeah, definitely been like, what's the matter, why can't I just all of my siblings, most of them have been married in their early 20s, she continued, adding that it was disheartening at times. Despite taking longer to find love than some of her siblings, Jana noted that she had been able to connect with so many of my other siblings or friends, or do things that a lot of married people have not been able to do as they've gotten married young. Eve tried to look at the positive, yet you long for that person, that someone that you can spend life with, she shared. It has been hard, but it has been good, and God's taught me a lot through it all.